Hi, this is a continuation of my talk about my spiritual foundations. I've been starting a dialogue with Neo1AZ, who has been sharing a lot along the same line, and been looking for others who have had similar experiences or who would like to share their own spiritual experiences or the path, how they got to where they are, how they formed their current point of view. And I would also ask that anybody else out there, please join in. Check out Neo1AZ's channel. Check out my videos, subscribe, and get involved in the dialogue. So first, one of the main things that got me focused into what is the nature of reality, interest in spiritual topics, spiritual reality, was my dream life as a child. And I remember dreams from a very young age. I think I remember dreams back as far as when I was 2 years old. I remember dreams when my feet were only halfway across the car seat. And I remember sitting on a car seat with my dad. This was in a dream, and I remember there was still another foot of seat in front of me for my feet to even go off. And we were riding down the road, and it was dark. And at some point we got a flat tire. My dad gets out to change the tire, and all of a sudden the horn is beeping, and he's yelling, "Hey, stop! Cut that out!" And I look over, and there's another me. I guess like my doppelganger, a dark me, is there and has an evil look on his face, and he's beeping the horn and really frustrating my dad. And that was that's one of my earliest dreams. And then I get yanked under the seat and wake up, from like a feeling of a nightmare. I've always been wondering about what are the meanings of dreams and the mechanism of dream, both from a scientific point of view and from a spiritual point of view. And so from a very early age, I began to seek out the books that were out there on dreams, and I paid a lot of attention to my dreams. And after reading some of these, of course, the first thing that they suggest to everyone to do is to start a dream journal. And I would stress that's a very important thing for anyone who is seeking to do any kind of consciousness work, because it begins to build a bridge into those more subtle perceptions of life. A dream journal is a very good exercise. So I had started journaling when I was very young, and somewhere along the line I did have what's called a lucid dream probably when I was 8, 9, 10, something around that age. I was in a dream, and I think I was being chased by some kind of monstrosity, some kind of nightmare type dream where I'm being chased and I'm running around in a dark haunted house kind of situation. And something about, I looked at the wall and something just told me that this was a dream, and I stopped and I turned around and I faced the thing that was chasing me, and it stopped and stood up, because it's as if the dream stuff recognized my consciousness, my awareness, and it suddenly didn't look so fearsome, and it stood up, and I confronted it. And it ended up, I think it turned into my big brother, who was a source of a lot of torment for me at that point. And as I confronted it and refused to be dominated by it, it shrank and shrank until I was standing in front of a much younger version of my brother, until he was like the little brother to me. And I did a lot of thinking about that over time, and it really was very revealing to me. But it also helped me in my dealing with my brother and dealing with any kind of situation where I always might have been being attacked or bullied. and I found it very empowering after that point. I think the thing that was interesting is when I did realize, I think probably in the next time I was dreaming, where I said, "This is a dream," and I turned and I poked my hand into the wall to kind of prove that it was a dream, and I like pushed my hand through the wall, and as I pulled out a chunk of the wall, all of this, what are they, like those, the stuffing that's put into packaging peanuts came flooding out of the wall, and it just revealed to me that it was all just kind of this phony stuff, and that I realized it was a dream. And at that point, I knew that I could do anything that I wanted to, and so I thought about it for a second. What did I want to do? And I created a door behind me, and I turned around and opened the door to a field, and then I went flying off into the field because I knew that I could go and fly and do whatever I wanted to, and I kind of played until I woke up again. And I think my experimentations when I was young kind of ranged along that line of just kind of sheer, I was out playing and having fun for a while until I became bored with that and started to try other things. So later, probably when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I did meet a really great teacher who shared a lot of similar interest in dream research, and he gave me hooked me up with a lot of good resources, some good books and dream journal communities, and I did a science project on this, and at that point I was trying all sorts of experience with dream control to basically plan the dream that I was going to have at night, and that also again helped to really kick in more lucid dreams. And at that time I also had a few dreams that they were basically like concentrated lifetimes. There's no other way to put it. It was very disorienting. I would wake up in the morning, and it took me a while to realize who I was and where I was, but because in the previous night it was as if I had remembered years of being someone else, and the memory of just being this other person was still with me, and so I was a young child, and yet I had the memory of an 80-year-old person who had lived an 80-year life within me, or it doesn't matter, a 40-year life, or because this happened more than one time, and with apparently different personalities, and these did seem to be spread throughout the ages. They weren't just memories of being someone today. So I didn't know exactly what to make of that. And even now, when I've come across plenty of books and information about reincarnation, and I've studied them, and I still can't say for a flat fact, this is what it is, and that, these are just past lives that I'm remembering, and maybe that's what it is. I don't want to force any of that kind of thing on anyone else. I just know it's my experience, and now what do I do with this, with these memories? Well, the main thing that comes from the memories, though, is a certain wisdom, because there is wisdom gained from years of experience. And that was the most odd thing to have, all of a sudden to wake up one morning with the wisdom of this other lifetime injected into me, and gradually the details of it might kind of fade, but what would remain behind was the essential experience of love and wisdom that was this life, and it would inform my decisions on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis. And I would often find myself just making decisions in life that later I would say, how did I know to make that decision? They would be the right decisions, or they would be the wise decision. They would be when someone was attacking me, or someone was, I'd become in some kind of confrontation. Instead of just lashing back or going instantly into a revenge mode, I would understand how to diffuse the situation and how to forgive much more than I think that the examples around me by my family and friends and my community were not of that level, and I didn't quite understand why I was able to make those decisions. And then but it came from these experiences that I was having a lot within the dreams, and just kind of this. It felt like a very strong connection to my conscience or my soul, what have you, which was very close on my shoulder, I guess, because of these experiences. So I just wanted to share that. I think that was a very important thing that I haven't heard as much about with other people, where these basically encapsulated lifetimes within my dream life that was happening throughout my childhood, and that's what I mostly wanted to share with this up to this video. I think in my next video, I also want to go into the beginnings of my out-of-body experiences and how that began to shift and alter my understanding of the world and my spiritual beliefs. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.